and welcome to the Dice Tower. I'm Camilla Cleghorn, here for a Q&A on Monday morning. So happy Monday. Happy Monday. How was your weekend? Mine was low-key. I liked it. Pretty low-key. Let's check through the comments here. Oh, Jason. Let's see here. Well, before we get too started here, I'll kind of catch up in the comments. But first of all, we do have a contest. This is going to be for a $10 Game Nerds gift code. Let me go pull that information up for you here. So email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject, put the word Shopsticks. Again, this will be for a $10 Game Nerds gift code, which we will pick one lucky winner, email you back on the details of that. It is for US only. So there we go. Let's see. Jason, everyone have a good weekend. Your Monday's been terrible so far. Mondays are rough. Actually, I don't mind Mondays. I think Mondays can be kind of relaxing because I come in, it's where I set up, I do my planner, kind of see what's going to be going on for the week, plot it out. So it's kind of my reset day for the whole week. So I don't mind Mondays. Tuesdays are usually rough though because it's like, oh, I have a whole week and it's already planned. So now you have to do it. So I have a harder time getting started on Tuesdays than Mondays. But yeah, hopefully it starts looking up for you. That's rough. All right, let's see. I'm still in the good mornings, so we're getting there. All right, Belgian fan club, very cool. I've been to Belgium one time in the airport. I had a layover there, and that's it. Would love to go someday though. That's neat. So thanks for being here. No, I didn't forget about you. Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Someone try and nail down if the A team is doing their top 100s this year. We will be doing top 100s, but we don't do the A team specifically anymore. So we're not sure. We're still working down what that format will be, individual, group. We have a couple different contributors kind of that we're thinking about. So we're not sure what it's going to look like. But yes, we will all four be doing our top 100 in some form or another. Travis, do you have a favorite quote? I do have a favorite quote, and I'm going to completely butcher it because I have a terrible memory. But it's a C.S. Lewis quote, and to summarize it, it's pretty much like if you could see people as they would be in their like eternal form, you know, you'd be. Here I am already butchering it. You know, you'd be inclined to worship them. And I love that. I love the quote because I think it just shows that there's good in everybody and everyone's a work in progress. You know, and if we look at people as a work in progress and see what they can be and what they're working to become, just how much more forgiving we are of each other and how much more loving and that we can be. So I really like that. It's a C.S. Lewis quote, and as promised, I completely butchered it. Best thing you ate this weekend? Ooh, best thing I ate this weekend. I had some jerk chicken that was really good. I really enjoyed that. A little bit of spice, a little bit of garlic. It was really good. Hello from Quebec. Hello from Homestead. What has been your favorite food discovery since moving down to South Florida? Probably just Cuban food. I don't think I've ever had Cuban food before moving down here. And I really like the way they do their meat, their beef is really well done. There's this other thing, oh, I can't remember what it's called, that's like ground beef with capers, picadillo, maybe something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it's really good, and that's probably been one of my favorite things that I've discovered. Just Cuban food in general. Oh no, I know what it is. Oh no, my favorite thing is the fried plantains, the green ones, and you smush them and you fry them and then you eat them and then you keep eating them because they're so good. So you get a stomach ache, and then you wake up the next day and do it again because they're so good. Oh, what are they called? They're really good. Fried green plantains, so good. Will you be reviewing Bot Factory? I haven't had a chance to get that one to the table yet. We do have it in the office, and a couple people have played it. I haven't had a chance to, so I don't know if I'll be in that review. I do want to play it still. It was on my anticipated list, so I will play it. And if I'm not in the review, then I'll do it on a rapid fire roundup or something. But it is on the docket. It's making its ways around. Kurt, yes, I am looking forward to Vegas. Just a couple weeks away. It's really funny because this is the longest I've gone between travels in quite a while. So we have like about 6 weeks between the cruise and Vegas. And so it's kind of nice. It's a really nice break to kind of slow down for a little bit, get back to some normal routines. I'm very routine oriented. You know, I like my methodical processes. But it is a little bit weird that there's about 6 weeks without traveling. I don't think we've had that long since I've been here. So I am looking forward to going out to Vegas again. I think it'll be fun. Huh. With Tom saying that Le Havre is basically garbage now, I would argue that it was always garbage. So we're just going to stop the comment right there. Oh, my wife is a formal special education teacher. What did you find most challenging about teaching? So I wasn't actually a teacher. I was a sign language interpreter, which is housed under the special education department. So I had a lot of the classes, a lot of classes overlaid, had to do a lot of it. But then at the end of the day, I got nationally certified in sign language and educational interpreting instead of teaching. And so then I did work in the special education classrooms with kids who were deaf, who had other learning disabilities or other disabilities with them as well. Or the one case I worked with specifically when a kid came to school and had no access to language. So he was deaf and he was just motioned to a lot, so had no understanding of language. So the most challenging thing was that right there. I think that was the most challenging for me, is being in that special education classroom. And I think trying to introduce a 5-year-old to language for the first time. It was very rewarding, but also very, I don't want to say traumatic, because I think that's probably a little bit too strong, a little bit too harsh, but it was really hard I mean, everything. I could tell you horror stories of feces and scratches and yelling. I mean, it was rough. So definitely my most rewarding time and case that I worked with, but it was hard. But in general, just working with special education in general, I think was hard to maintain expectations. I think that people with disabilities still have and need expectations. You know, I mean, just because there is a disability or a shortfall in one area doesn't mean that it's a free pass. And so I think maintaining that compassion and understanding, but also trying to find out what their capabilities are and what their threshold is, so you can make sure that you're challenging them and helping them to be the best they can be, but yet also being considerate of what those limitations might be and how they can learn to cope and grow through those limitations. So maintaining that balance was rewarding, but definitely the most challenging part, I think, to me in working with the special education in my role. Are you currently reading any books, and what's the last great one you read? I've not been reading a lot lately. I've read a lot of rule books lately. It's really funny the last 6 months how that's kind of like changed. Almost all my reading has become rule books. I've definitely fallen asleep a number of times with a rule book on my face. So no, I haven't read anything. I did pick up Ender's Game again to reread that a couple months ago, and so that was probably my last book that I read. And that was, of course, for me, a reread. I want to say read number like 15. One of the few books I've reread, in fact. But new books, oh, I did start Mistborn. I guess that's probably what I'm currently reading is Mistborn again. And I say again because I've tried it 3 times, and this one I'm about halfway through the first one at this point. So Mistborn is what I'm currently reading, and I haven't picked it up for about a month and a half. So yeah, we'll just start the chapter over. It'll be fine. It'll be great. Audio is lower in this studio. All right, I'll try and talk a little louder. I'll try to project. I'll What do you say? I'll bring out the Chris Yee in me. I'll really throw it out there. What did you do on the cruise when you were not working or playing games? I ate a lot of pizza. I ate a lot of pizza. I stood in line for ice cream and then went and ate more pizza. I got in the hot tub a couple times and that was fun. I got off the boat at two of the different locations. Really enjoyed Labadee. That was a lot of fun. Just a really relaxing island. Really enjoyed that one. And that's about it. I mean, what did I do when I wasn't doing one of those two things? That's pretty much all I did was play games and interact and hang out with people and did some emails. So what did I do other than that? Really not much. That's about all I did for 7 days, which was a lot of fun. No complaints there. Do you have any thoughts on the spirits previewed in the upcoming Spirit Islands Nature Incarnate? So I didn't follow Nature Incarnate very carefully. Mostly because I was really disappointed and I was working through my own disappointment that Eric Royce has talked about an upcoming expansion, which is going to be very Dahan centric and really focused on working with the Dahan and being the Dahan and just giving them more of a life and presence on the board. And I'm so excited for that because those are the spirits that I love to play. I love the spirits that have a lot of movement to them or that really use those Dahan. So Thunder Speaker, one of my top 3 spirits. I absolutely adore Thunder Speaker. And I love teaching people these games because then I don't feel guilty being Thunder Speaker because I was like, oh, look, it's a base game one. I can play this one and not feel like I'm just falling into my old habit. So So when I saw that it was Nature Incarnate and not the Dahan centric one, I was a little disappointed. And I don't know how I feel about having a new thing, a new mechanism in the game. I think the game has enough mechanisms, so bringing in that Incarnate token for, I think only 3 of the spirits had it, not all of them. But with that, I was just a little hesitant. It's not that I don't want to check it out, I just didn't follow it as closely. So it's one that I am going to pick up, and I mean, all things Spirit Island I'm here for. So it's one that I will look into at some point, but I didn't follow the campaign super heavy. What's your favorite game that uses the fewest cards or components? So this is interesting because I'm not an abstract gamer. I need a theme. I need some interaction, something to do, a shared board. And I don't really care for card games. And I was thinking about that this weekend. I wonder if I don't care for card games because most of the time they're pretty abstract, right? I mean, I was just playing a trick-taking game this weekend and it was just like, you can play it in silence and it wouldn't really change the gameplay. And there was just a deck of cards and there was no theme to it. It had illustrations and stuff, but the theme wasn't there. So this is an interesting question for me. I think with that, probably going to be the crew, which is funny. I was just talking about a trick-taking game, and here I am, like, going against everything I said. But probably crew, because it's just a deck of cards and a couple little tokens. I think it just has great interaction. It is a game for people like me that don't like trick-taking or don't like cooperation, or I think it just fits a lot. It's going to be a lot of exceptions for people. You know, if you don't like trick-taking, maybe this is going to be the exception. If you don't like cooperative, maybe this is going to be the exception. If you're not a board gamer, maybe this is going to be an exception. For me, I don't really care for card games. This is the exception. So I think for the crew, that's going to be it because I think it crosses a lot of those bridges between peoples and different kind of gamers. Ooh, what's the next game you really want to get painted on your own? Oh, I have been itching to paint Tidal Blades, Heroes of the Reef, and I've been itching to paint Claustrophobia 1694. Oh, I'd want something either really pretty and not cartoony or really gruesome and nasty. I'm coming out of painting My Little Scythe right now, and it was fine. It's cartoony and adorable, and I just want something nasty. So I think Claustrophobia 1694 is the one I really have my eyes on, but also maybe Tidal Blades, just something really pretty. I think that would really challenge me because it's not my painting style. Really kind of push me into a color palette that I'm not comfortable with. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. Just gotta get a copy of it first. Gotta find the deluxe one. What's your favorite part about Dice Tower Cruise? The cruise specifically, I think, is probably the hot tub. I love hot tubs. I don't know. I love hot tubs. So probably the hot tub, and having access to that and ice cream at the same time, it's like a dream come true. But I think of if we go a little broader scope there and look at just cons in general, the ones that we run, I think it's going to be teaching the games. Going to these conventions are really interesting because everyone's like, "What's your favorite thing you played?" And from my perspective, when I'm at these conventions, people are coming to know my tastes a little bit as I'm more and more on the channel. And so it's like, "Hey, I heard you like Obsession. Would you teach it? Hey, I heard you like Spirit Island. Will you teach it? Hey, Skate Summer was on your list last year. Will you teach it?" And I love that. A lot of these games I don't get to the table as much anymore. So I love going to the conventions and one, personally getting to play these games again, and two, getting to share that love with other people. I think just to really dive into it, people that don't know the game or just discovering it, it's like a rediscovery for myself as well, but also just reinvigorates that love that I have for these games. And it's like, oh man, that's right, I do love this game. So it's fun to play my favorites, but also just share that with others and kind of bring them into this world. Or opposite of that, you know, if they played it and they're like, okay, I can see why you like it, but I didn't. I've had that happen a couple times, couple of kind of completely bombs, and that's okay as well, because then we always have a good discussion about it. And then I can recommend other things that, hey, maybe we'll try this one instead. If that's what you thought this was going to be, try this. So I just really love those interactions and getting to revisit some of my favorite games and explore them with people new to the hobby. Or not new to the hobby, new to the game, I should say, new to the game. Man, top 100s. I have no idea. Last year we did it in May, so I'll do it when the boss tells me to, when he puts it on the schedule. I don't know. That's a Tom Vassell question. Would you rather live in an RV or a sailboat? An RV, hands down. Hands down. You know, the salt life, I enjoy it, but I am a mountain girl at heart. Give me an RV, let me travel the mountains. I hands down, RV. Also, no seasickness, so it's fantastic. Hands down, that easiest question of the day. I love it. Keep them coming like that. What game that you love to teach produces the most aha moments in the players just learning the game? The most aha moment. Gosh, I'd love to say Spirit Island, but I feel like that aha moment doesn't come till like the final round of the game. It's sometimes, and maybe I'm just a terrible teacher, which I do hope. I do hope with the new Horizons of Spirit Island and the Quick Start Guide that'll kind of curb that. That did kind of help me get a better way to teach the game. Help me as a teacher having that Quick Start Guide. So maybe that one, but a good aha moment. Oh man. I think I was teaching Project Elite recently, and I really think that one has a good aha moment because you're in that 2 minutes and it's just so overwhelming, and you get so tunnel focused on what you're rolling and what you're doing, the aliens you're trying to take out, and your specific goals you have in mind. And it's just pure chaos. And then after that 2 minutes, everyone kind of stops and takes a breath. Oh, we didn't do too bad. We cleared off all the aliens. Oh, we met 2 objectives. I had no idea. And I think that aha moment is really fun because you see people so focused and so concentrated on one individual point. And just that aha moment of when they take that big picture and they're like, oh, wait, we rocked that. That's awesome. That's always fun. And it's a good collaborative kind of feeling and laugh. And I really like that. So that aha moment, it's not like a mechanical or mechanisms aha where it's like, oh, I see how this game works. But it's an aha moment of, I think, just success in general. And it's happened. I think this last time I taught it, I really saw it, but it happens almost every time. You know, when you're out spawning and it's just so overwhelming, and the tunnel vision and that breakout where you come back to the big picture, it's a lot of fun, and it's always very bonding. You know, it's a neat experience, and ultimately that's what I like in games. I want those experiences, and I think that that's a really fun one. Any plans to do a Dice Tower painting show? Wendy would be great. She would be. Yeah, she would be. Wendy has a really good painting style in being able to paint fast. We have very different painting styles. So yes, I agree, she would be good at it. Me, I think I would have a hard time monitoring a chat and talking at the same time. And I just get excited about the blood and gore. So it would just be me like, oh yeah, gushing over that the whole time. Or me over analyzing what paint colors to use. So yeah. So I don't know on that one. What are your favorite smells? Fun fact, I am very sensitive. I have a very sensitive nose. I smell a lot and everything and all the time. I remember when I was pregnant, I was working in office and I was doing some training and I smelled cheesecake so strongly and it was like making me nauseous. I was well, everything does when you're pregnant, but but I was smelling it really strongly. I was like, somebody is having cherry cheesecake, and they're like, no, they're not. So we're searching around. We move on with the day, and I'm sitting there for a while. So then about an hour later we take a lunch and come to find out somebody like two rooms away had been having a cherry cheesecake yogurt. And I was like, that was it, And so anyway, I have a very sensitive nose. So that being said, what are some of my favorite smells? Are sometimes more of the more subtle ones. I think I like the deeper smells, like an amber, or a woodsy smell. Something like that campfire, something that's going to be deeper and more subtle. I don't like floral notes. Floral notes are just sweet and go straight to my head. But yeah, fresh cut grass, clean mountain air. I don't know, things like that. Just the very clean, subtle smells are some of my favorite. Oh, if you played the last song on your phone, what would it be? What's your favorite band? I cannot say a favorite band. Yeah, you have got to nail it down more than that. Favorite 80s band, favorite opera singer, favorite acoustic, like I don't have one specific that I go to. I really listen to music as my mood ebbs and flows. I think, gosh, the last song I played was probably Silver Bullet. I don't know, maybe. Gosh, what was I listening to? I also listen to Pandora a lot. I have Apple Music and I'll build playlists, but I listen to Pandora Music to find stuff and then add it too. Oh no, actually I'm going to take that back. The last song was the Batman soundtrack or score. I listen to a lot of scores as well. So I don't know. There was the one called The Funeral. I like that from the new Batman score. That was my last one, I think. I was listening to that last night. So there you go. Without knowing the game, what is your favorite player count? I think 3 is typically my favorite player count. Two player is fun as long as it's like designed as a 2-player game. I found a lot of time two player variants leave me wanting a little bit something more. And also 2-player games sometimes are just so direct conflict head to head, like battle games, and those are not really my favorites. So 3 players I think often expands that scope a little bit and gives you a little bit more room in it without having the length and a lot of times heaviness that comes with, not heaviness weight games, but heaviness of just like the waiting for your turn, things like that in a 4-player game. These are talking very general, of course. There's probably more exceptions than are standards to all those statements I just made. But I think 3 offers a really good balance, gives you enough player interaction, people to talk to, conversation without. Over 4, it needs to be a specific type of game, I feel like, that before it starts feeling like separated and segregated. So 3 is probably my favorite, leaning more towards 4 or 2 on either side of that, depending on the game. Never had it myself, but I've heard Cuban coffee is supposed to be really good. I've tried it. It's very strong. Coffee is not my thing. I don't like coffee. I have very strong association. I like this. I love the smell of coffee beans, but smelling coffee makes me think coffee breath. And maybe that's just being around some of the workplaces I've been or whatever, but I do not like the smell of coffee, especially if it's like a sugary sweet one. It just my mind just goes forward in time and I'm like, ooh, your breath is gonna smell, and then that's all I can think about. So smelling coffee, not the coffee bean, but smelling coffee reminds me too much of coffee breath, and that's just like I said, sensitive nose. Tostones! Thank you, Gator Dave. Those are so good. Wow, I'm really far behind if I'm just now making it there, but oh man, as a fellow Tennessean living in a different state, What do you miss the most about Tennessee? Gosh, the fall. I miss the fall. I miss the trees changing colors, that crisp air. Spring is nice too, but the allergies don't miss that. But gosh, the falls, just that crisp air, the football weekends, the hiking so close. And I miss Tennessee is so localized. I mean, if you're in Tennessee and you want to go to the beach, you drive a couple hours east. You want to go snow skiing, you drive a couple hours north. You want to go to a big city, you drive a couple hours west. You know, it has everything. You want a whitewater raft, you go here. It's so accessible to so many different aspects and parts of the country, and I absolutely love and miss that. So I miss the fall, I miss the trees and the seasons, and I just miss the accessibility of everything that Tennessee has. After going to so many cons in 2022, what cons are you most excited about visiting in 2023? I really enjoy West. I'm sorry, West is where I get to play a lot of games, and so I definitely am looking forward to that one. I want to say, I mean, this is not me just promoting the channel, but I think I like our cons the best. Just because of familiarity, you know. I know them, and I help Sharon with Dice Tower East, so I'm very in tune with what's going on there, and I understand, so it's very comforting when you are the one setting it up and stuff. But then going to West, I really do like our flag system and just being able to walk down and play a game at any time. You know, I really like that. So definitely ours I'm most excited about. Other than that, probably Gen Con. I really enjoyed Gen Con. I think Gen Con was a really neat kind of grouping of, you have your board gamers, you have your RPGers, you have your cosplayers, and I really think that one helped just open my eyes to everything that board gaming can do and everything board gaming adjacent. And I love that we have these brother and sister little hobbies around us, and that we can bridge to. And I think Gen Con does a really good job of showcasing that. As well as some of my favorite booths are there, you know, the painting booth. I mean, where else can I go and see a painting booth, and also a board game booth, and also look at some cool cosplay stuff, you know, things like that. So I'm not really into cosplays, but I have a real appreciation for that, and I think Gen Con does a great job of bridging all these different geeky hobbies. I love it. Oh, Trogdor. You saw your first great Weimar. They are good looking dogs, aren't they? Oh my gosh, there's so few of them too. I love him. So he's doing good. He is getting into trouble, as always. Got a hold of another Bofu frog the other day, so had to wash him out and watch for tremors there and everything. He survived because he is a menace and has a stomach of steel. So yeah, after he got into rat poison one time, and ever since then, I'm pretty sure he's indestructible. But yeah, he's doing good. He's handsome and brave as ever. Do you have any favorite colors to use? When in doubt, I tend to toss some contrast like skeleton horde and snakebite leather. It's funny, those are the two I probably would have mentioned. I really like skeleton horde a lot. Basilicum gray. So again, we're staying in that contrast, that GW Citadel line of contrast. I love basilicum gray. If you do that over your metal, it gives them a really good aged. You know, use like a lead belcher or something like that for your metallic, and then go over it with that. And I love that kind of antiqued, aged, grimy look it gives. I love Blood Angels Red, and along that as well, I love Blood for the Blood Gods. Blood of the Blood Gods. That is one of my favorite paints. After I varnish them, I'll put on that on top, so we get that real icky, yucky, bright, fresh blood look. I love that one as well. So those are probably my go-to contrasts that I can just name off the top of my head. I also have a smoky ink that's a really, really dark, it's like a brown black color that I use a lot of. That way I found sometimes using straight black is just too harsh. And so that smoky ink, that one's from Vallejo, part of their game color series. That's another go-to one of mine. Or a wolf gray. So I feel like the wolf gray, it's just, again, not as stark as white, but just gives it a little color and kind of narrows the palette a little bit. I really like that one as well. Oh, will you eventually do a segment like the rapid fire roundups? Funny enough, I have a list of that, and we'll be recording it next week. So yes, I will be doing those very soon. Which Project Elite do you prefer, 2016 or 2020? I've only played 2020, and with it, I don't really have an interest in trying the 2016. If somebody had it, I'd absolutely play it, but it's not one I feel the need to seek out to try and play. So yeah, I've only played the 2021. Yes, I do know ASL. I would no longer call myself fluent. I'm definitely proficient still. I mean, but I haven't interpreted in probably 10 years. It's been 10 years since I interpreted like professionally. But yes, so I'm still proficient and I could hold a conversation and might have to finger spell a lot more than I used to. But yes, I do know ASL. It's the only language I can successfully learn, I've decided. I've failed at everything else I've tried. What is your favorite co-op and why should it be Subterra? Well, apparently my favorite co-op is Subterra. I do like Subterra a lot. I think Subterra is a great exploration and cooperation because you need to stay together. But in order to get it done, you have to venture out and be brave and do your individual things. But you can't go too far from the group because if you don't have that cooperation, you're not going to make it, you know? And so you really, it's an interesting balance of being brave and going out on your own, but also needing to maintain that independence to go out and just try it. You have to. It's almost like a push your luck. It almost kind of feels right. Like I have to do this. It might kill us, but also if it doesn't, it's the only way to win the game. We've got to explore those tiles. So I think it has a great tension to it, and it is a fantastic one. So yes, my favorite co-op is Spirit Island, but Subterra's up there as well. It's really good. Do you think that being a sign language interpreter is why you are expressive with your hands when talking? Absolutely. I would imagine it'd be natural expression of learning sign language. It is. It's very much so. And if I can't come up with a word sometime, I'll sign it. Or if I'm really trying to make a point, if I'm whispering to people, I find myself using signs as well. Or if I'm trying to remember something, if you tell me a phone number or something, I'll sign it on my hands just to kind of get the feel of it. And so that's really, I mean, one, like I said earlier, I have a terrible memory, but there's something about that muscle memory that just sticks with me. So yes, definitely I'm very expressionate when I talk, and I do think that that comes from being just part of the deaf community for so long. Oh, the dice character is staring at me. You're right, that is kind of creepy. Thanks, I will not unsee that and be self-conscious for the rest of the stream. Thank you. Thank you, Gator Dave. Ooh, if we had a 3-on-3 dodgeball match, who would you want on your team? Roy? Just me and Roy. I do 2-on-5 with Roy. If I could have Roy, we'll do 2-on-5. How about that? Yep. Other than that, who else? Roy, just because he's got the energy, he's ruthless, he's yeah. But who else? Somebody that we could just stick in front and we would just use like as a meat shield. Who would be our meat shield? I don't know. Someone's meat. If I had to have a 3, it'd be someone like that. Just give me Tom, because he's tall. You know, let me hide behind Tom, and me and Roy will take care of the rest. Have there been any games to help children with writing or reading or fine motor skills? Oh man, I did find with the reading and writing, I don't think I had to use any of, I didn't use any for that specific skill. My son, when I was homeschooling and using games, I would do more math and cognitive thinking kind of games, ones that would challenge, or spatial awareness games. I used Rome a lot by Ryan Lockett. I would use that one a lot just for the geometrical shapes and kind of being able to visualize that. But fine motor skills and writing skills, I'd have to think about that one a little more long term. I don't have any specifically that I used, so I'd have to think on that one. So come back to the next Q&A or email me and we can follow up on that question. All right, Gen Con pizza party. I want my pizza crust thick. I want to chew. I want to gnaw on it. I like the thick. Pizza crust and toppings. I am a pepperoni and black olives kind of girl. That's it. I will eat just about anything, and I really enjoy trying different pizzas, like a barbecue chicken, or I really like Hawaiian pizza. So I'd like pizzas like kind of outside of the norm. I guess both of those are still norm, but it's not not just a red sauce, cheese, and pepperoni. That's kind of my go-to with black olives. All things black olives, I'm there for. But but I also like white sauce pizzas or ones that kind of push it a little bit. There was a place when I lived up in Baltimore called Pie 5 that I loved, and they would just do a olive oil and garlic down and then the cheese and toppings on top of that. And so it was like a no sauce pizza, and I really liked that as well. So, and I know that that's become more popular since then. That's the first time I kind of discovered that. So white sauce, no sauce. Enjoy venturing out to those, but I am a pepperoni, black olives. That's a mwah. Ah, it is picadillo. Thank you for that. Yes, the ground beef dish. Yes. Yes. And tostones. Fantastic. Thanks, guys. Oh, my excitement. I know. I feel like I have to like hold my excitement back a lot. I get very animated. I am aware of this and I can be very large in personality. So I am aware of it, but I'm glad that it works for you. It doesn't work for everybody. What's your favorite horror dark themed board game? Oh. Oh. This is hard because I also feel like I want to respect other people's threshold for and games that they might not be drawn to. You know, so recently I was looking through Lobotomy 2 and I was loving it. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. I love that theme of being in the insane asylum and you're not sure if you're insane or like, is this happening? Is it real? Is it a dream? You don't know, right? And I love that, but I also respect that that's not going to be for everybody. So for me, something like that is right up my alley, and I was just totally geeking out and dorking out over the cards as I'm, flipping through it, and I'm really enjoying it. But outside of that one, I would say probably Final Girl, just any horror. I don't like horror movies; they're scary, and I'm a little wimpy girl when it comes to that. But I love the themes and the picture and that kind of stuff. So Final Girl, just any like horror slasher slayer or something like that is a lot of fun. Has your son played Minecraft Portal Dash? Just got it. Looking forward to playing it. He's not played that one yet. No, I do have it. Wait, hold on. Which one is that? You might have to remind me if that is the cooperative, because there's three Minecraft ones now, and I get them very confused. Is Portal Dash the family one? If so, yes, he really liked that, where the creepers like coming to the town, you have to push them back. He really liked that one. Gosh, it was such a simple play. I should probably do a review on that one. But then there's the third one that came out. That is another one, cooperative, and he's not had a chance to play that one. I just finished reading the rule book, so he's still all over the Minecraft though. I'm sure it'll hit the table soon. My favorite board game artist, and what is your favorite box cover? My favorite box cover is going to be the downstream expansion for Meadow. I love otters, and I'm sorry, I cannot remember her name, Caroline. Um, I'm gonna butcher her name, but she's a Polish artist, and I adore that really pretty watercolor look of that she has in Meadow, but I think the downstream expansion specifically just really speaks to me. I think it's a very busy cover, but it works in what the game is doing, and it just evokes that feeling of trying to take in everything in a scenery. It's very, there's a lot going on, but it doesn't feel over busy. It just feels very lush and a lot happening. So I absolutely love that, adore that box cover. It's actually, I don't have that expansion box anymore, like the expansion in the box. I combined it with my base game, and it's the only expansion box that's empty that I've kept, and it's because I just can't bring myself to throw it away. I love it. I absolutely adore it. So that's my favorite box cover. My favorite artist is probably Andrew Bosley. I really like Andrew Bosley a lot. I think he does a good job of making fantasy seem real, I guess, or fake seem real, like on Everdell where we see the little critters, but it looks like a real life, like that could really happen, without it being like, why is that mouse in a top hat? That doesn't make sense. It fits really well. He's a very smooth artist, I find. And I like that a lot. I'm actually really excited about Unconscious Minds because I like the contrast of him and Dutray against each other, where you have the real life and the fantasy, but the fantasy still looks real. So is it real or not? And I really like that contrast. So I want to say Andrew Bosley is probably my favorite that I'm drawn to a lot. Let's see, what theme would you like to see more of? I don't know that it's a specific theme. I think I just want to see people bringing awareness to unknown themes. I really think that now I know nature now is like very overwrought and very overdone, but I love like Wingspan. I think that it is a nature game that kind of hyper focuses on birds and bird watching. How cool is that? That's its own nerdy little hobby, and probably not a nerdy little hobby, probably a nerdy biggie hobby. I don't know. It's a biggie hobby, but I think that that's really great that it's bringing that awareness to it and you see that love of it, and so I really think that rather than like, oh, we don't have enough pirates, we don't have enough zombies, I really just like people picking these kind of specific themes and focusing on them. Little niches within a theme, I think, is what we need more of, more focus on what we already have, so I think that's a lot of fun. Fun fact, Mike has an unpainted copy of Tidal Blades. Fun fact, I know where Mike lives. Fun fact, Mike wants a painted copy of Tidal Blades. All right, I might need to track down Mike. uh... Did I ever think I'd be a reviewer of board gamers as a career? No, I didn't. I did not seek this out. And to be clear, I'm very, very happy with it. But this is not where I thought I'd be, especially coming out of coaching. I thought, when I got out of interpreting and got into, well, it was a series of jobs. But eventually, when I got into coaching, I thought I'd found it. I thought that was my career, my forever, that I was going to do. And so no, I'm just as surprised as y'all are when the first time I showed up on the channel. So it was definitely took me aback, not where I thought I'd be. So, and no complaints there either. I have heard that I would love Colorado. Oh wow. So you're not the first to tell me that. I've not been there, but I've heard that. So we'll check it out one day, right? What were some biggest surprises from last week's Top 100 if you were able to catch it? I don't know if I had surprises necessarily, because I think around the office here, I have a general idea of what people like and don't like. I mean, we play games, we see each other playing games, we talk about our reviews afterward, that kind of stuff. So no surprises like, oh, you liked that? But really just you liked it that much, especially when it differs so much from my opinion, The one that comes to my mind immediately is the Evergreen with Z. I was like, I did not like that game, and so I was like, oh, I knew he liked it and liked it a lot. I mean, he rated it a 9, right? But to go that high in 1 year just absolutely like blew my mind. So little ones like that. I was really surprised that I'm the only one in the office that likes Arnak more than Dune. I don't think I'd put that together yet, Dune Imperium. So that one really surprised me as well. I was like, wait, why am I having to fight for this here? I thought that, I know a lot of people lean that way, but I didn't realize how outcast I was in that. So yeah, that was probably my biggest surprise is, oh, everyone likes Dune better, except for me. Any game from last year that was not on the radar whatsoever, and did it surprise you when I played it? Whew. Probably Skate Summer, which ended up being my number 1 of last year. I remember seeing I guess it was on my radar because I saw the Kickstarter, I was like, no, and I kind of discounted it. But playing it, wow, that one caught me off guard. I thought maybe I would like it, but that one it really caught me off guard how much I enjoyed that and want to go back to it over and over. So not quite completely not on my radar. That'll be an interesting question for this year. You know what? That's a really good question, Horde of the Board. I'm going to keep that in my mind this year as that comes, because this year I am more reviewing games than I did last year. That's as I'm getting more accustomed to be on the channel and that kind of stuff, I'm going to be doing more reviews. And so that'll be an interesting question. I like that. To be continued. Is there a game that you really like that isn't appreciated as much by most other people? I just mentioned Tidal Blades. I think that one is very underappreciated. I think that people hyper focus on the fact that you lose your dice after you fight the monster, and because of that, they just discount it. And I think that is wildly unfair, and it is a fantastic game. So that is probably my like champion that I'm like, it's good. Oh gosh, or that, or Eco's First Continent. I think people also discount that because like it's just bingo. It's just you pull one out and you got. I'm like, no, it is so good. So also Eco's First Continent, highly, highly underrated game. It is fantastic. Have you backed anything on Kickstarter? Yes. Are you allowed to say any regrets that you've backed? Sure. Any regrets that I've backed? Oh, I don't know. I tend to be very particular, I do a lot of research before I decide to back anything. I don't really get FOMO. I think I get FOMO more in if I back something, do I go all in or not? I do tend to be like all or nothing and don't really moderate myself, but I am very, very picky about what I back. So by the time I back something, I generally have a good idea if I'm going to like it. Now, unless the company just completely doesn't fulfill or takes the game a different direction, something like that, but that hasn't really happened yet. So, I don't know. I don't think I have any that it's like, man, I wish I hadn't backed that. There have been Kickstarters that I've gotten rid of. For example, Dead Reckoning. I did end up selling my game of that. But that was just one because it's like, I don't know with my play group how often it's going to get to the table. Still a fantastic game. Very much enjoy that game. And I think very highly of it. And I enjoy playing it and I want to play it. If anyone asked me to play with it, it would be absolutely yes. But I don't know if it warranted being in my own collection. I have a pretty narrow collection, pretty cold collection. And so with that, but I don't regret backing it at the same time, you know? So anyway, so no, I don't think there's any that I regret backing that have really hurt me. I am still waiting for Hell Lost Saga, and so I don't know if that one's gonna come. Maybe that would end up being it. We'll see if that shows up. But I do know that they did some restructuring, and fingers crossed that that all works out. Are we going to get your Spirit Island Spirits ranking? Yes, but see, here's the problem. I love Spirit Island. And like I said earlier, we don't always get to play our favorite games around here because we have to review and that kind of stuff. And so it's like, it's hard to get our favorite games to the table. So when I get to the table, I want to play that one that I love. So I haven't done my Spirit Island Spirit rankings yet because I feel like I need to play more. I've played I have 22 or 24 spirits, and I've probably played 12 to 15 of them. And so I feel like to really do that, I need to play a couple more, but gosh, I just want to play the ones I like. So anyway, so it will come. I have taught, maybe I'll just do my top 5 spirits or something like that. That's a little more flexible with the ones I haven't played yet, but I would love to do that. Do I have a favorite book from childhood? I remember there was Danny and the Dinosaur. I don't know why I always loved that one, but it's this little boy that had a dinosaur and the dinosaur went to school with him, and that one just always stuck with me. It doesn't have a life lesson. I don't know why. It's just nostalgic. It's a learn to reader. Maybe it was like the first one I read to myself. I don't know. But for some reason, Danny and the Dinosaur always stuck with me. Is there anything you've had to work or improve on personally or technically from your Dice Tower videos? Yeah, everything. I feel like I'm constantly trying to work on myself. And also technically as well. Like I have no video. I came into this with no video editing skills. I came into this with no camera skills. I mean, nothing. I was a clean slate. So coming in, a lot of what you see from me it's just who I am. I tend to be a very hard on my sleeve kind of person instead of very big personality. So I have had to learn how to kind of pull myself back a little bit, like, okay, you know, if you're in person with me, you know I'm kidding, but if you are not, then I can see how it doesn't come across that I am a kind person, you know? Because I do tend to be more loud and a little more aggressive personality. I think it's a side effect of having 5 brothers, but that's okay. I just tend to be pretty aggressive in personality, and I've had to realize that doesn't necessarily always pick up right on camera and stuff like that. So holding that back a little bit. But technically, yes, absolutely. I mean, all the computer skills and everything. The biggest skill set I think I brought to the Dice Tower was just my organizational skills. From being a coach and being a head coach and having 300 kids over me and all those families and having to organize the meets and that kind of stuff. Just those organizational and logistical skills, I think, is the only thing that I really brought to the Dice Tower. So. Everything else is learned here. Well, other than my personality and love of games, of course. But yeah. Any recommendations for a weeknight 2-player game for couples? This is a huge question because I don't know you or your taste. For me, I really like a week, what you call it, a weeknight. I love that phrase of a weeknight game. I came home from work. It's going to be comfortable, easy rule set. I played it enough, quick to set up, quick to take down. Something like that. I think New York Zoo is one that I really like. That fills that niche for me. Anything like that. I mean, that's what works for me. So a specific one, it's going to be to you and your taste, whatever works with you and your significant other. I mean, maybe those quick, that's not the things you're looking for, is that quick to the table. Maybe you want a weeknight game where it's like, no, I want to escape and go to a fantasy realm and have a different life for a night, something like that. Maybe that's not what you're looking for. But for me, it's something that is going to be a little bit maybe snappier, a little snappier, but like relaxing, but also quick to the table, quick to clean up, something like that is what's gonna do it for me. And also, it has to be pretty. It has to be something pretty. That's just me. I really don't understand why in this day and age why games aren't pretty. Like there's no reason. So anyway, let's see. Going back to smells, which one triggers a childhood memory or childhood for you? Chlorine. Absolutely. Stepped out of the car the other day just here, and they're doing something in the fields, and I was like, whew, that's a pool deck, and it took me back to that childhood of summer swim meets, especially if you're like outside and you smell chlorine. Not inside, but outside, because that's that summer swim meet, that hot air, that's like instant childhood. That or dirt. Dirt really takes me back to childhood. I grew up on a farm, and so for some reason, that's just a very kind of nostalgic, earthy smell to me. What's your least favorite household chore? Washing the dishes. I loathe washing the dishes. I hate it so much. I hate it. I don't even know. I could just sit here and stare off into space in 5 minutes and say I hate it over and over again. I hate it so much. I hate it. I hate loading the dishwasher. I hate unloading the dishwasher. I hate rinsing dishes to put them in the dishwasher. I hate hand washing dishes. I hate dishes. I don't know. If I could eat everything just out of like a squeezy tube and never have to do dishes again, I would do it. I hate it that much. I don't like doing dishes. Dishes are terrible. Oh, we're talking about spring. All right. Spring is nice. Spring is so nice, but man, those allergies just get me. Doo-doo-doo. Worst game you've ever played, why was it the worst? So this is a hard question as well, because worst game because of my taste or worst game because the game is bad? Worst game I've played that I like actively disliked. Templari. Chris taught me that one. And there's another recent one. I wish I could remember what it was. There's another one recently that I played and I was like, that might be up there. We played Actually on the live stream on the Kickstarter night. I didn't like that game. I don't know if it's come out in a review yet, so. Oh man, I wish I remembered what it was. There was something that I was like, hey, that might be right there with Templari as like my least favorite games of all time. So Yeah, why was it the worst? I think I'm not a big fan of trick taking. I despise in games where it's either like player elimination, but even worse than player elimination. If it's player elimination, cool, I'll get up and walk away. But if you just like block me out to where then my hands are tied for the rest of the game, so I still have to sit there and play with you for like 12 more rounds and just be reminded that I didn't get a good hand of cards, or I backed myself in a corner, or my plays didn't work out the way, whether it's my fault or the game's fault, it doesn't matter. If it's 12 more rounds of sitting there and just having it rubbed in my face that I suck at this game, like, oh, it just makes me so mad. So yeah, I don't like being bad, and Templari definitely did that. It was one of the few times I've yelled at somebody in a game, because like, well, why didn't you do that? I was like, cause I can't. And it was so bad. I very much disliked that game, and it was very much not a me game. So again, but I had strong feelings in that game. If I like Subterra, I should try Night Cage. I love that. I've heard that, but yeah, I've not had a chance to yet. Let's see. Okay, we've got a couple more minutes here, so I'm going to go a little faster through to the comments. Oh, this is interesting. I say I'm going to go faster, and then I get distracted because I see the word painting. Have you tried the Pro Acryl line of paints? Just got my hands on their white, and now I won't have to shake my fist at pigments as large as pizza slices any longer. First of all, fantastic analogy there, because yes, I hate that big pigments and paints. That's interesting. I haven't even heard of them, so I'll look that up. Thanks. Ew, olives, Vanessa. No. Oh, here we go. I'm curious if you're interested in Marvel United or not, given your meh on Marvel. I am on meh on Marvel, and I just want to be clear on that. I'm meh on Marvel. I don't dislike Marvel, but apparently being meh on Marvel means that I'm despicable, I guess, is what I've learned. But no, I'm meh on Marvel. I need something more to it. I do enjoy Marvel United. I think Marvel United is probably my favorite Marvel. Nope, that's not true. I like Marvel Champions more. But I think Marvel United is a really neat itch, or scratches a really neat itch, and it keeps it small, it keeps it contained, but yet you still feel very superhero in it, and you have your little bit of asymmetries in your deck and things like that. But it's a snappy game with still some really good choices. So I very much like Marvel United. Yeah, I like that. It's a Marvel game that I enjoy, and I think it's good that it's Marvel as well. So. Butterscotch ice cream? Oh my gosh. That's in Philly near PAX. Okay, that's a reason to go to PAX. I love butterscotch. Butterscotch is one of my top flavors. I'm here for all things butterscotch. I love it. Ice cream flavors, I do tend to like ones like that, like your butterscotch or your caramel. I just had some really good one this weekend. Pralines, pecan praline. I love that. Kind of those little bit, I guess they're not quite savory, are they? They're definitely not savory, but what are those? Again, those deeper kind of caramel and butterscotch, those deep butter kind of flavors. I love them. So, butterscotch ice cream is now on my list of things to do before I die. Thank you, Ant-Man. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there's the two new Minecraft cooperative games, Portal Dash, which is more gamers and better, and Heroes of the Village, which is the younger and not as good. So yes, the Heroes of the Village we did play, and that one is very family oriented. It's quick, it's snappy, it's an attention. And then the Portal Dash that y'all had asked about earlier, I have not played that. I've read the rule books but haven't gotten it to the table with him. So yes, so to answer, I think it was Diane's question earlier, I've not played that one with them specifically. All right. Well, I didn't quite get to all your questions, but it was great to have you guys here today. Thanks for stopping in for this Q&A. I am Camilla, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.